Hello everybody, and thanks for joining us today on the Oakland Car Review. Today we have a car here, none other than the 2013 Mitsubishi Outlander Sport, courtesy of Mitsubishi. Now, as you can see, the front of this vehicle has some very nice styling cues. We have this very large front grille, which gives the front of the vehicle a very nice, pronounced, bold look to it. We have the LED lights, which work great at night, provide lots of bright light to the nighttime roads. And of course, this vehicle is equipped with four-wheel drive. Now they have a two-wheel drive and a four-wheel drive option. This is the four-wheel drive option, which is also can also be put into two-wheel drive mode when you want it to be. It has a nice amount of front ground clearance here, so if you do a little bit of small-time off-roading, this vehicle will do very nicely with that. And then we also have some very nice wheels on this top trim level model. They really offset this nice turquoise color very nicely with the wheels. It just really ties the whole look together very nicely. We have some great tech features as well, like keyless entry, push to start, navigation, optional sound system, which has a very nice clear crisp sound to it. We have a nice big subwoofer in the back, which gives the car a lot of very good bass sound when you want it. Now the rear of the vehicle is also very interestingly designed. We have little round rear tail lights of the vehicle, which are sort of interesting with little LED lights individually placed within the rear tail lamp. Now we also of course have seating for 5 people, and I think now it's time we go inside and show you what's on the interior. Now the interior of this vehicle is actually fairly nicely appointed. We have a nice leather wrapped steering wheel on this model, of course, with all of our hand controls, volume controls, cruise control, voice command, especially with our Bluetooth wireless, which also does audio streaming, which is nice because some cars only do the Bluetooth for phone calling, and this one actually does both the phone calling and audio streaming. So for instance, if you want to play some music on your phone or the stereo in the car, you'll have no issues doing that. Now, of course, we have some nice tech features. We have the push to start, and then right here we have our main infotainment system, as they call it, the Mitsubishi multi-communications system here. And it starts up right away. Just get English in, you press that. We have the navigation system, of course, which is fairly useful in this vehicle. Now, it's a bit old school, as you can see. The maps are not that updated looking. And you know, of course, you have your address, destination, information that you use this screen right here. And then we also have the info button. You can pair up your mobile phone that way. Now, something sort of interesting, you hit the environment button, it shows you your altitude, and it also has a barometer, which I find kind of interesting. I've never really ever seen that in any vehicle before. And of course, it tells you the outside temperature there as well. And then we have our Sirius satellite radio, which is nice. We have 4 presets with multiple stations available in each one of those. And we actually have a little volume button instead of a knob, which I find sort of interesting. And then, of course, we have USB, iPod, Bluetooth audio. Again, that's what I was talking about. Very nice feature. And then we just hit open if you would like to put a CD in. It goes right up there in the top. And then just hit the button to close, of course. And down here we have our very simple climate control settings. It's just one zone. We have air conditioning, of course, nothing too fancy there. We have heated seats on both the passenger and driver side. We have low and high. And then coming over here again in the steering, we have these very interesting large metal paddle shifters here, which are sort of interesting. I've never really seen anything like this in a small compact SUV before. It's sort of an interesting feature. And you know, one of my favorite features though on the inside is this humongous panoramic view roof. It's just so nice. It just opens right up. You have a huge amount of the roof taken up by this glass, about 85%, so that's really nice. And then another favorite feature in this vehicle of mine is the premium sound system, which is just great. It's by Rockford, and it just sounds amazing. Now we also of course have a nice amount of sound control options for the premium sound system. It shows you all the speakers that you have here, and then we have a really nice bass subwoofer in the back, which really just has such a nice bass sound to it. It's really just something to hear. It's definitely one of the best sound systems in any small compact SUV that I have experienced in my time. And of course we have all of our options there. We have the speed to volume control in this vehicle, which is nice. So as you RPMs get higher and you drive faster, the volume will change accordingly. So now let's start it up and see how the vehicle drives on the road. Now the vehicle has equipped with a CVT transmission, so it's a continually variable transmission. So it's something to get used to. If you like that type of transmission, then that's great. However, I'm not a big fan of the CVTs myself, just because there are really no shift points to it. However, it's quite smooth and it's fine. It's more of a personal preference type of a deal with that transmission. Now, powering this vehicle is a 4-cylinder engine producing about 148 horsepower, about 146 pound-feet of torque. Now, that's not obviously a lot of power, and the vehicle is fairly heavy, so it doesn't move all that quick. 0 to 60, about 10 to 12 seconds. However, it gets the job done, and once you get up in the higher RPM range, from 4 to 5,000, it's okay. It's to be expected for any small SUV with a 4-cylinder. And it does, however, do very well with the fuel economy. We get about 22 to 24 mpg city and about 30 to 33 on the highway, which is very good for an SUV, especially with 4-wheel drive. Now, one thing I like about this one too, it's not all-time 4-wheel drive, so you can actually press this button right down here. It's the 4-wheel drive button. Press it once, it takes it into 4-wheel drive automatic mode. Press it again, it goes into 4-wheel drive lock mode. Press it again, it goes back to the front wheel 2-wheel drive mode. So, that's really nice that they give you those different options and selections right there. The steering of this vehicle is very nice and tight. That's definitely one of my favorite things about driving the vehicle is the steering. It's fairly responsive and has a nice amount of road hold in the curb. So it does a good job of keeping all of this height and weight under control while turning. Me and my friends, we dug in the sand, we covered our feet, we covered our hands. Me and my friends, we wasted our time down by the lake, stating our rights. Overall, the Mitsubishi Outlander Sport is a great vehicle to consider if you're in the market for a small, fuel-efficient SUV. Well, overall, the 2013 Mitsubishi Outlander Sport is a very economically feasible and fuel-efficient vehicle, and starting at only $19,800, you really just can't go wrong. And with all of the options and features that we see in this vehicle, like the automatic CVT transmission, the navigation system, premium sound system, leather interior with heated seats, it comes to about $30,000 delivered. So, a very well-priced vehicle. It's also very fuel efficient, getting about 26 miles to the gallon in the city and about 32 miles to the gallon on the highway. Now, of course, depending on your driving habits, that will change a little bit. And now, again, one of my favorite things on this vehicle is that the full glass roof in the top of the vehicle just really makes everything just come together so nicely. It's just really a highlight of this vehicle. And we also, of course, have the 4-wheel drive option, which is a nice feature as well. Well, we hope that you've thoroughly enjoyed this review of the 2013 Mitsubishi Outlander Sport. See you next time. Overall, the 2013 Mitsubishi Outlander Sport is a really capable vehicle. And starting at only $20,000, it's also very affordable as well. When you want some power from the 4-cylinder, it has it.